You've done your outline, finished your first chapter, and now you're halfway through your book and struggling to keep the momentum going. The glamour and gloss of life as an indie writer seems a long way off. And now you're facing an uphill battle to get that book finished. So here are a few tips to keep you motivated in your writing journey. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm a big advocate for writing daily. You don't need to be writing a lot each day, but having that daily rhythm in place will help you stay motivated and productive throughout the process of writing your novel. Set aside a time and place each day which you're going to dedicate to writing, ideally somewhere quiet and secluded with as few distractions as possible. Include a hot beverage in your routine or set some mood lighting, whatever it is that can help you get in the mood for writing. Each day, promise yourself that you'll write at least one sentence on your novel. It doesn't need to be a long sentence or even a good sentence, but there are a few benefits to giving yourself such a small goal. First, you're much more likely to reach it each day. Secondly, even little by little, you're still adding to your work. Thirdly, the thought of writing a single sentence is far less daunting than writing a chapter or 2,000 words or something like that. And finally, you can do it anywhere. Write on your phone, a scrap of paper, a napkin. One sentence a day is all you need to keep yourself motivated and writing. So just commit to at least one single sentence a day and that's it. Odds are you'll end up writing a lot more than that, but this trick should stop you from procrastinating or feeling overwhelmed each day when you head to your writing nook. If it all feels like it's getting to be too much, just remind yourself, all I need to write is a single sentence each day. Easy. On the days when you're tired and utterly unmotivated, you might just stick to that single sentence. And hey, that's okay. You've still thought about your novel and done something to add to it. You've added one more brick to the wall and the size of that brick doesn't really matter. Other days you'll write feverishly and end up blowing right through your allotted writing time, pumping out thousands of words without breaking a sweat. This will more than make up for the days when you can't face more than a single sentence, and both of these will ultimately add to the final book. Again, the important thing here is establishing a daily routine that you can stick to no matter what. To get the most out of your daily writing routine, you'll need to know when, where, and how you work best. Are you a night owl or do you wake up before the sun? Think about when the ideas are freshest in your head and when you're most excited about writing. If it's in the morning, then you need to set up a daily writing rhythm early in the day. If it's at midnight, then set aside some time late in the night. It's also worth knowing what your ideal writing time frame is. If you're like me, you can write for about 2 hours max before your brain turns to putty and all your thoughts start to wander. Work out what your most productive time frame is and then try to stick to that. For most writers, a quiet, secluded nook, free of distraction, is the best environment for writing. But that's not true for everyone. You might prefer a noisy cafe or your kitchen table. Find your best writing spot, claim it, and make sure it's prepared for you to write each day. Think about what environment inspires you to write, and don't worry about how silly it might seem. Your writing nook is your space, and you're going to be spending a lot of time there. So get it ready the way you want, and use whatever tools you have available to help you keep motivated and productive. Do you write with music in the background, or is that too distracting? Will you light an aromatic candle, turn on the white noise machine, or use a vintage desk lamp? Do you prefer to write on a desktop PC or a laptop, even a typewriter? Do you sketch notes in a pad before moving to your computer? Is there a particular font you respond well to? Getting this right might take time, but it will all help you with your productivity levels, so it's worth a little time investing in upfront. Now, this is probably one of the hardest lessons I've ever had to work through, and I'm still not there yet. Enjoying the daily grind of writing is not always easy to do, but if you can learn to appreciate the daily ups and downs of the process, you'll be much happier as a writer. Whether you're writing a single sentence a day, editing a tricky paragraph, or trying to think of a synonym for the word blather, each one of these is part of what it means to be a writer. And it's worth reminding yourself when things get hard that the struggle itself is also part of the writing process. Everything you're doing as a writer. Most of us tend to have a very outdated picture of what it means to be a writer, someone that's independently wealthy, reclining at a chaise lounge, dictating words to a young scribe, smoking a pipe in the attic, and so on. But the reality of writing is that a great deal of time is spent wrestling with plot points, language, motivation, and so on. The fact that you're already starting to wrestle with these same issues should fill you with encouragement. You're doing writing. You're a writer, doing what writers do, both the good and the bad, the easy and the hard. And that's amazing. The lesson here is to try and enjoy the struggle of writing, but there's one trick that might make this a lot easier. Writing is typically a solitary affair, but it doesn't need to be. It's worth finding other writers and connecting with them regularly, either to commiserate together, work through ideas and issues, or just to touch base with someone that has a like mind. Staying motivated is a lot easier when you're part of a group, rather than having everything resting on your own back. You can also use YouTube channels like mine to stay connected, informed, and inspired. Leave comments, ask questions, like and subscribe. Part of the enjoyment of being a writer is connecting with other like-minded souls, so find yourself a community of writers and get connected. In writing terms, having a clear idea of how you're going to end your book and what your readers are going to experience at that point will help you immensely as you write out the second half of your novel. That cardinal point will help guide you as to which details you might want to leave out, which character aspects to emphasize, and so on. Everything should be driving towards that one goal. Staying focused on the climax and resolution of your story will help keep your writing tight, but it should also motivate you to keep writing, to press through the trials and tribulations of the middle phase of the project and push on towards the end that you can't wait for your readers to experience. Well, hopefully these tips and tricks will help you work through the middle phase of your novel, but let me know in the comments if you have any specific questions or if there's something in particular you're struggling with. Remember, you're part of the writing community on this channel, and so am I! So reach out and let me know if you need a little dose of inspiration, and I'll be happy to oblige. And as always, keep it real, keep it safe.